Hello everyone, welcome to the Abundance Oracle. This is a little bit of an extra video, but I got a text at 3 o'clock last night to follow up on something. So I want to just go over this with you, and I thought in a unique way that perhaps I haven't seen anyone else mention yet, so perhaps we're not going to discuss it, but I think it's a good part of the strategy for us, we the people, going forward, just so you know and you'll understand what's going on. This is about tariffs and the countries that we will impose the tariffs on, their central banks' reactions. What to watch is the direction that their central banks take. One of two things. They can either, because most likely the tariffs will cause a recession. So let's just talk about Canada first. They'll cause a recession. So the central bank can take then and lower interest rates, which will stimulate the Canadian economy. But if they do that too much, it will cause too much purchasing to go on to too many people, which will then increase inflation. So that's the number two. They can do nothing, and let everything settle in, and given it's Trudeau, they will try to do whatever can help him out, because the central banks are a part of the not shallow state, if you understand what I'm saying. And they control a lot of things about countries and money and cash flow. Okay, let me just check my notes here. I have quite a few things to say. They can either lower interest rates to stimulate their economy to get out of the recession that the tariffs will cause. However, sometimes lowering the rates on a country's citizens who have access to debt, which I know Canada uses debt and credit. Mexico uses debt and credit as well. It may cause an unintended consequence. If there's a euphoric reaction by the mass of citizens and they feel confident to start spending again and perhaps overspend with credit, as it is rather an addiction here, which is happening in the United States, so it could happen there in Canada as well, it might ignite an increase in inflation. The general population seems to have an addiction to debt. They don't have and understand this devastation overspending can cause. It will I liken it to someone who has an addiction to gambling debt and has a difficulty with controlling themselves. So loose lending policies of the central bank, which there's one sort of for each country they're trying to unite together in a global system. Loose lending policies of central banks can be damaging to those people. Currently, in our own country, around 70% of citizens don't have even $1,000 in savings for emergencies. And emergencies comes up all the time. You need 2 new tires. You went through something. A medical, uncovered medical expense for yourself or even a relative that doesn't happen, and then you have it, and you're then going to help them. A larger car issue, mechanical something, large rises in the cost of living, of food, of housing, utilities. It is very dangerous for families' financial health and can cause much stress on households, because then you have your relationships that are an issue, and people can be infighting when it comes down to money, which is the number one cause of divorces in the United States. It's my advice is to teach or learn to be financially strong now before you are forced to be strong later. If you can manage to get rid of your credit card debt and maybe only keep your mortgage debt, if you have a 2% mortgage or a 3% or 4% mortgage, you can invest the money that you would use to pay off the mortgage, extra mortgage payments, and put it in an investment that might get you 7-8% return. And then the differential, maybe use that to either reinvest and expand your wealth, or take and use that to start paying off the debt. Why don't you consider even renting a room? There's so many people right now that could use a less expensive alternative to housing. Anyhow, so those are my basic ideas. I hope it's not confusing. I wrote this in the middle of the night, so hopefully it's a little cohesive. If you have any ideas, recommendations, or comments, please subscribe and write them down below. It might help other people. Let's all stick together. It's going to take all of us sticking together and not dividing to make this whole new future of abundance and positive things for the United States. Big hugs to everyone that needs it, and I hope you'll come back and see me again for my next chat. Thank you.